Hey, how's it going today? I hope you're doing amazing. Welcome to the Collective Perspective podcast. I am Anthony, and I am blessed to be with a very good friend of mine, Ethan.
Of course. How's it going, everyone?
And today we are covering a very important topic that I know will help you a lot moving forward in your life. It's something that I know all of us have struggled with throughout, but once you really start to get good at it, it really takes you places.
It's easy. Yeah.
And the skill that I'm talking about today is mastering the art of public speaking. So, just as a quick rundown, some of the things that we will be covering is developing confidence while speaking, crafting the engaging presentation, overcoming the anxiety and nerves that I know all of us have experienced at some point in time, utilizing effective nonverbal communication. I include pauses as nonverbal communication because, I mean, it's nonverbal.
Other things like eye contact and smiling.
Exactly,
We'll get into that.
exactly. And finally, handling any questions that people might have. But
Yeah.
let's just jump right into it. So, starting out, developing confidence when speaking. Just like anything, confidence basically only means that you do it a lot. Confidence is built through repetition,
Mhm.
and whether that confidence is speaking in front of people frequently, practicing your presentation, or simply practicing what it is that you're going to say. If you really practice exactly what it is that you want to convey, then naturally you will become more confident.
And then a lot of that comes in with belief too, right? Believing in
Yes,
yourself,
yes,
believing that you can do it.
yes,
I mean, like you're not gonna get anywhere if you don't think you can, right?
yes,
Yeah, of
definitely.
course.
That belief is really necessary, and if you
I mean,
don't have
Anthony,
it,
how has your confidence increased, like from when you started to now?
so when
Like
I
from when you were like
first,
a kid.
yeah, so when I first started in high school, I was really nervous. It was really bad. I didn't practice at all, for one. I didn't practice any of my presentations, which um, was not good. I didn't have anything kind of prepared ahead of time, so I would get up there and I would basically just kind of freeze. And I just completely bomb it. I
I
remember
love,
one,
yeah.
yeah, I remember one presentation I did in freshman year of high school. I was really sleep deprived. I didn't have anything really prepared. I got up there, all my note cards are out of order. It was just bad. I somehow passed that presentation, but it was a really, really bad presentation. And that was because I didn't prepare and I didn't believe in myself either. I didn't believe that I could be a effective communicator and an effective public speaker, which is
And I think
where
we all start out at that level too. We all start out
exactly,
like everyone starts out at like fumbling note cards and missing words and you're not getting it out right, and
exactly,
consistently talking, of course.
exactly. And even if you're at that place now, you need to believe in your ability to improve because you do have the potential if you believe in yourself and continue doing it to be an excellent and a great public speaker. Because
Yeah.
just like learning any skill, it really comes down to that repetition and that practice. Because if you do anything enough times, you will eventually become confident at it. That goes with
Yeah, remember that.
almost any, literally.
Repetition, confidence, and belief
Exactly. If
in
you
three
put
things.
if you put those together, you're gonna be an excellent public speaker.
And you know what? Diving into the presentation, that's up in second topic we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Crafting that engaging presentation. What would you say some things that really catch people's eye or to create that good presentation? What are a couple things?
Um, First and foremost, it really depends on the topic that you're covering. So you really want to start out. What I've found to be extremely effective is to start out with something that catches people's attention at the beginning of the presentation, something that makes people look up and kind of wondering where you're going with it. Like questions work really well, statements work really well. Like I remember recently in a college presentation I did recently, I was talking about the self-image and its effect on our success and results in life. And I started that presentation with, so by a raise of hands, who here wants to be successful? And that's like something that gets people's attention. And then I was like, by a raise of hands, does anyone here really not want to be successful? which is kind of like it gets people's attention, it gets engagement, and it catches people's, like the second one kind of like makes people laugh a little bit. So starting out with that. Yep.
Yeah, no, I think that's really nice. I mean, I think you covered that base of, I mean, what can create the engaging presentation almost yourself, right? Like when you bring the, like, creating that intriguing beginning,
yes.
Right? Bring that all together.
Yes.
And then what do you do when you're creating that, beginning, and you come up to the stage and now you have all these anxiety and nerves over you? Overcoming those anxiety and nerves. What do you do?
But before we get into that, I just want to talk a little bit more about the presentation, because I see this a lot with people presenting, and I understand why they do it. So I know at least you've seen at least one presentation with it's just a block of copy. Like it's there's not a lot of pictures, there isn't any pictures, and it's like a whole paragraph of text, and the people are just reading off of it. Please, whatever you do, please do not do this. If you want to put people to sleep and have them get their nap time in during your presentation, then go ahead. But if you want to create an engaging presentation, please do not do this. Like know your topic for one, and have slight bullet points on it so it kind of like goes over what it is you're talking. And if you really did the step one of practicing and knowing your content, then you can just refer to those bullet points and then give the information that you know as a result of it. So please, whatever you do, please do not read. Please do not read. I can read. We can all read. Please, for the love of all that is holy, please do not do this. And yeah, that's what needs to be said. Just know your information and say it with enthusiasm, like you're excited.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And I know you were going into the next topic about overcoming anxiety and nerves, which
what do you do when you're trying to go up there and make a nice presentation, and then you have a ton of nerves and anxiety over you?
Okay.
What do you do?
Yes. So I believe that we all, even I, still experience what you would consider anxiety, but we covered this slightly in the last podcast about networking, and I try to tell people this every single time I'm in a class and people do presentations, because it really does work very well. So what it is, I mentioned it before, is that anxiety and excitement feel very, very similar. They are almost exactly identical. The only difference is the perception that you have in your mind and the thought process behind it. Like when you're excited, it's positive, you feel good, you're ready. You use that adrenaline for a positive emotion, because that's what nervousness is. It's adrenaline going through your body and making you in like a fight or flight situation, which is what nervousness really is. And if you're nervous, then you have a negative thought process, because you're trying not to be nervous, and by trying not to be nervous, you're going to make yourself even more nervous.
Yeah.
So, because like I've done that, don't be nervous, then you're focusing on being nervous, and you become more nervous, and it's just a downward spiral. So
Yeah.
instead of trying to fight the nervousness, what you want to do is instead reframe the sensations in your body as excitement. That really helps a lot because then you aren't fighting your body. You're using the sensations and transferring them to something positive that can help you. So instead of trying to fight the emotions in your body, like you feel that that racing sensation, you feel like you start to get like a little sweaty and stuff, and you're like, oh crap, I'm nervous. Nah, say, oh, this is excitement. Take
Yeah,
a
you know
deep
what, Anthony?
breath.
When you're talking about turning that like from your anxiety to excitement, that excitement also comes with purpose too, right? Like why you're
Yes.
doing it. So then
Yes.
it's like, you know what? I'm gonna be excited about the purpose, right? I'm gonna be excited
Yes.
because I'm doing this presentation in, let's say it's school. I want a good grade, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna be excited about doing it because I want a good grade, right? And don't, yeah, I think you're exactly right. That nervousness is just excitement.
Yes.
I mean, I think you're spot on with it. That's why I
Yes.
didn't talk. I think I was letting you
Yes.
go, but
Yes.
that's why I
Yes.
think you're spot on with that.
Yes. And reframing that nervousness, take a deep breath, because if you're nervous, you're gonna breathe really fast. So take long, slow, deep breaths. The box method is extremely useful. Change it as you will, depending on how it works. So basically, what it is breathing in for 4 seconds, holding your breath for 4 seconds, letting it go for 4 seconds, and then waiting for the next breath for 4 seconds.
Oh, I've seen that.
And
Yeah,
yes, it's
that's
it's
cool.
what they use in the Marine Corps to
Really?
lower nervousness. Yes, and it works. It
Wow. I've
works
seen that
really
on the
well.
film.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
So yeah. Also, it might help because sometimes, not what I just said, but knowing that people don't really care that much. Um, like even if you do completely bomb it and forget everything, nobody really cares. They're
Yeah.
nervous. They're nervous about them presenting.
They're more worried about themselves. Yeah.
Exactly. They don't really care.
Like,
So
oh
just
shit,
kind
I
of
might
just
fuck
kind of
up.
keep that in mind and be like, turn that nervousness, reframe it as excitement. The sensations in my
Mhm.
body are me excited because I'm excited to do the best presentation
Yeah.
I've ever done. Think
Yeah, you
that in
mess
your
up, you
head.
laugh.
Think that in your head. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't even think about the grade, because the grade will come as a result of thinking that way. Because the only thing I slightly disagree with you about thinking about the grade is that can kind of make you a little bit nervous in itself, because then you can
Oh no, I
start,
was just thinking about the purpose. Just
yeah,
purpose
because then
doing
you
it.
can start doubting yourself and be like, oh, what
Oh
if I
yeah.
don't do well and then I won't get a good grade, and you're putting too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah,
Whereas if you,
the only purpose. Let's say that let's change it around. Then the
mm,
purpose is just because you want to get that paycheck at the end.
mm,
Because at the end of all this road, right? Because once you get the investors at the end of the presentation,
I see,
you might get money, right? So that's the purpose. That's why you're doing it. So even though you're scared, right? Believe in the purpose and then change that to excitement.
I see that. I like the purpose of just improving and doing better, because then it's like it's internal, and then you'll get the results as a result of that. And even if you don't right away, you will eventually.
Yeah, I know. I like your point, man. I
Mm.
do. I think it's true. Yeah.
So with that being said, let's transition to how to utilize nonverbal communication techniques. And
Yeah, and I mean, we've already gone over, right, real quick, the confidence when we're speaking in public, going on to the engaging presentations, all the way to, I mean, controlling the anxiety and nerves, right? And now we're just getting to, right, just like you said, those nonverbal techniques.
yes, so I think it kind of ties into what we just said, but if you truly make yourself excited about what you're talking about, then that gets displayed in your nonverbals. It gets displayed in the tone of voice that you use to describe it. Like if I like let's like I'll pretend like I really don't care about what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
um yeah, this, so if you kind of like do confidence for public speaking, then it makes it more interesting. Like that's boring. Like you can tell that I don't really give a fuck about what I'm talking about. But if I am truly excited, if you find that excitement inside yourself and express it about the topic that you're presenting, even if you just kind of create it in yourself, like if you kind of like fake it, like you're excited about it, that still is more exciting than not even trying.
Yep.
Do you have anything to say on that?
No, I mean, I think you're 100% right, right? Just, I mean, just believe in yourself. I mean, using the nonverbal techniques, though, that'll go into, right, break it down nonverbal,
Yes.
being you're not speaking, right? And I mean, communication techniques of like how you're going to talk to people. I mean, we touched on it before, Anthony. You said a great one. I forget what you said. It was, oh, it goes along with, like eye contact, right? Oh, you said pausing. That's what it
Yes.
was. I think it was pausing. And so that with eye contact, right, with smiling, I mean, whenever you see someone smiling, I mean, just like you were saying, faking it, right? Just do it. I mean, non-verbally, smile, right? I don't care if you're nervous or not. Just do that. And I mean, using your hand motions, I mean, like just effectively doing those things creates your presentation. I mean,
Yes.
and makes you seem like a much better presenter.
Yes.
And even if you weren't prepared, it makes you look a lot more prepared
I see.
because you're engaging in that presentation.
I'm just gonna say this because it's very hard, if not impossible, to fake nonverbal signs. So rather than trying to fake a smile, which can be really easily seen through, I would recommend that you find something like some sort of happy experience in your past that makes you genuinely smile. So pull that up if you can find a way to be able to pull that up in the moment, and then you can have a more genuine smile, because people, like, if you see someone fake smile, it's very, very obvious. You can just, it's like it's in the eyes. So I would recommend that. And as he was mentioning with pausing, that is also extremely useful, because many of the times when we're nervous, we talk very fast. And once we talk fast, we begin to stumble over our words, and it just makes it a lot less thought out. Whereas if you take pauses at strategic points in the talk, you can really add a lot more emphasis on what it is that you're trying to say. And by giving those pauses, you can also allow the audience to really fully understand and process what it is that you are trying to convey. And it also makes you seem significantly more confident in what you're saying as well, because you're talking slowly, and it makes it seem like you have a lot more conviction as well. So if you try your best to add in pauses occasionally, it really makes a very, very large difference. I was actually using it while I was saying it, and it makes it seem a lot more
a
lot more engaging.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. I just heard you do that.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's neat. Everyone should have. Everyone I just heard should have heard you do that.
And it's like it's like they're waiting on what you're saying, and it's like it makes it like they're on the edge of their seats. Like it's like, what is he saying? Where is he gonna go with this?
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Whereas if I just talk like this, and I was talking about like how you can potentially like add it and make it a lot more interesting. Like you're just like, whoa, slow it down there, buddy, slow it down there. It's just like overwhelming. Then they kind of like tune out because they can't deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point.
Yes. Do you have anything to add on that?
No, I mean, what if I start interrupting you?
So one more thing I want to talk about for nonverbal is I think that it is extremely important because when we do presentations, we sometimes think about addressing the entire group, but you can't talk to an entire group. So what I would recommend, instead of talking to the entire group, is talking to individuals. So making eye contact with one person and talking to them directly. Because you can talk a lot easier to a person, a singular person, than you would otherwise be able to if you were trying to talk to the entire group. That's incredibly
No, that's a
important.
good point.
And to also answer your question about interruptions, just do that. Take a moment and then go back to what you're saying.
Utilize the pause, right, Anthony?
Yes.
Utilize the pauses. And I mean, that was going into the next topic that we actually had, handling questions and interruptions. I mean, have you ever had like a time where someone's interrupted you or they had a strange question you didn't know how to answer? Well, of course, everyone had, like, at the end of school presentations, right? When any questions, right? How do you handle those?
I've actually heard a tip. This might not be as good for presentations, but I feel like this is extremely good for life in general.
Yeah,
You can
so
also use this for presentations as well. I actually heard this from an older woman I was talking to. So whenever someone asks you a question that you really don't want to answer, ask them why do you ask that? Why, like, if they
oh,
if
okay.
they say some like random question that you really don't want to answer, you ask them why do you ask that? What
And then
made you ask
expand
that?
off of that.
Exactly. And most of the time they're just like, oh, I don't know. Then you just kind of move on.
Yeah, just because they were trying to get under your skin or something, right? And if you
Yeah.
confronted them, said anything like that. Yeah, because I mean, a genuine question, right? Of their business, right? How much does it cost? First, one, you should know that. And then two, like, it's not a bad question,
Yeah.
right? Like the question interruptions, if someone's like, excuse me, right? Like, what is this about? You're like, I'm sorry, like, why do you want to know that? Or like, what are you talking about, right?
I wouldn't say it in that context. I
Well,
would
could you
say that
give me,
that's
I think I'm
more in
struggling.
in general in life. For presentations, I'm trying to think of how I would handle that. It depends on if they're interrupting or if they're asking a genuine question.
Yeah,
And
that's just because what I was wondering. Because like when you said like, why do you ask? It is just a tough tell, if you will. You know what I mean? Like tough to say that. Like just because you don't feel like you want to put them on the spotlight, and you don't want to be put in the spotlight anymore than you are, even though you're
yeah,
like the presenter.
yeah.
It's your job. So
I,
I
I
mean,
just
like,
I just thought of that. It's not really for presentations, but if
all
you're
life,
ever if it,
a
and
hundred.
if general in life, if people ask you a question you don't want to answer, ask them why are they asking you. Like, why do you want to know that?
Yeah, no, that's a great answer for that. I mean, life lesson, life skill.
Yes, yes.
I
It
mean,
not it, you- it doesn't work. It doesn't work for presentations. So please do not try to use that to answer to try to get rid
I
of
want
it.
to clarify.
Yeah, please do not do that. It will not work in presentation settings, but in general life, in a one-on-one situation, um, it works. It works really well.
Yeah, I
But
think in a presentation, if I was to have to say something about it, like if someone asked you a bad question and you really don't know how to answer it, I think answer it in a kind way back, right? Like, we don't really have the information right now,
yes,
right?
be
And we'd be
honest.
happy to get it later. Yeah, right. Be honest. Don't be like, oh, we think whatever and come up with something, right? Like
Yeah,
your instinct, if you don't know the answer off the top of your head
tell
right away,
them. Yeah,
yeah, it should be, you know what, we actually don't know that right away. Because you still want to seem confident, right? You don't want to be like,
exactly.
oh, I don't, right? Like,
Yeah,
no one wants to hear that because then you're definitely not professional. You start losing points.
exactly. Be like, I'm sorry, but I'm not. Or don't even apologize. I scratch that. Just be like, I'm not 100% sure right now, but if you really want to know, I can ask someone for you and I can reach back out to you.
Yep. I'm not able to provide the exact information for you, so I can't give you an exact answer. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And that
Just be
and that
straight up.
honesty and humbleness of being able to admit the fact that you don't know everything is also extremely refreshing to people as well because it makes it seem like you're a lot more credible and a lot more trustworthy
Oh,
because
yeah.
you're able to admit the fact that you don't know everything, which none of us do. So it's very refreshing. And also adding on top of that, your willingness to reach out to someone who probably does know the answer and giving them that information will
Gives you
also add even
credibility.
more to your credibility as well
Yeah.
because you're
Yep.
willing to help them out.
100%, man. Yeah, you want to, I think, wrap up all the subtopics that we talked about today.
Yes.
And I mean, just give it one overall, like, what do you think? You know what I mean?
Okay, so if I was to put it together, practice makes perfect. If you need to be able to believe in yourself and know that as long as you're taking steps to improve it and do it better each time and be excited while you do it, over time you will naturally get better.
Yeah, clip that, huh? That is everything right together. Ladies and gentlemen listening, that is the entire podcast you just heard. That sentence.
Yes.
All right. I mean, perfectly said, man. I mean, just continuously do it. Try and build yourself, build your, how you're thinking, right? Don't get scared. Turn the anxiety into, what would you say? Turn the anxiety into
excitement.
Excitement. Thank you. That's beautiful. Remember that.
Yes.
And I mean, it's beautiful. That's perfect.
It is.
And from everyone listening, Mastering the Art of Public Speaking from Anthony himself. We delved into the confidence while speaking, right? Creating that engaging presentation, the anxiety and nerves, right, with them, the nonverbal techniques you can use, and also the handling questions and interruptions. And I'll put this in the beginning of the podcast as well, but I mean, fantastic coverage, Anthony, for sure.
You as well. You as well, Ethan. I really love this podcast. I appreciate each and every single one of you for listening, and you're gonna kill your next presentation. I already know it.
I think everyone will that listen to you.
Yes.
I think they're gonna do really well. Yeah, but everyone who just listened, make sure to leave a comment wherever the hell this is posted, and of course, make sure to leave anything you want to hear from us in the future.
Yes.
And we will hope to see everyone very, very soon.
Yes. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. Say peace.
I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Peace.